Hi yogis. So for flow class today, we're going to focus on scorpion leg and full cobra variations, which can be very advanced, but I'm not going to touch my foot to my head, but just in the trying and the working through it, it's going to be a wonderful stretch to the front of the hips, and we're going to really play with the activation in the glutes and the hamstrings, which should be good. So let's start off with a little stretch for the toes. So don't worry, we won't be here too long, but just in kneeling position, the toes tucked and sit back. And then just letting the neck get some stretching, so tuck your chin, draw your chin over towards your right shoulder, back to center, over towards your left shoulder. If there's any sticky spots, linger, go slow, or maybe make your movement a little smaller. And if you feel like you want to add to it, you can let your whole head roll in that direction and then switch into the other direction. And just in a couple more rotations at your own pace. And when you're even, chin back to center and lift it up. We're going to do some mobilization of the spine, so basically cat-cows in a kneeling position. So from this position, reach your arms out, and we're first going to scoop the belly and round, as I just said, bringing my hands forward and my back of my hands towards each other, pulling the shoulder blades apart, chin tucks to chest, and then lift, expand, reach out, rotate, and wringing through the arms. So I'm reaching my pinkies back and squeezing my shoulder blades in and down. Stretch through the throat. I'll do this a couple more times at your own pace. Scoop out your belly, round your spine. Feel your glutes kind of lift away from your heels as you tuck your tail. And then arch back and rotating out through the pinkies. Feel like you're wringing out your arms. Lift your chest, stretch your throat. And exhale, clear out the abdomen, stretch the front of your hips. Inhale, expand your chest, reach wider across your collarbones, wider armpit to armpit. And two more. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, reach wide through your chest, arch back through your tail. Last set. Curl in, scoop out the belly. Inhale, reach and open up your chest. And then exhale, hands back to your feet. Hopefully that distracted you a little bit from the feet, but if they were not distracted and you need to, you can take a little foot tantrum. Next, we're going to come into basically like you would go into a wide leg child's pose, so knees into a V position, and you might have to adjust this to get where you need to be. And we're going to do a version of thread the needle, but in this position it should also be a hip stretch. So take your hands in front of you, and left arm first, reach it up nice and high, and then thread it underneath your right arm, bringing your shoulder towards the floor or wherever is available. If it's comfortable, you can just let your head relax your ear down to the floor, and then reach your right arm forward. Keep pressing your left hip back as you reach your right arm forward, as you relax your left shoulder down. And then slowly bring your chin back to center. Slide your right hand back. Lift your left arm up. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So left hand plants now. You can be up on your fingertips. Right arm reaching up nice and high. And then thread it underneath your left arm. Slowly letting the shoulder come down. Ideally your glutes are still at your heels. And if it's comfortable, you can let your head go down or your ear go down. If it's not, you can use more pressure into your left hand, keep it closer. And if you can extend your left arm out, forward in front of you, creating that equal pressure of your right butt back, right hip back, and your left arm forward, shoulder relaxing down. or if it looks like it's able to maybe thread through a little bit more. Just breathe here. Particularly if you find a kind of tight spot, just pay attention to it, breathe, see if you can notice and maybe even relax a little bit. And then slowly chin forward, slide your left hand back, bring your right arm out, lift it up, and bring it down. We're going to try a little exercise for the glutes. Getting into this might take a little bit of practice or just, finagling. So from this position, let's see, I'm going to take my right shin forward. It's not parallel to the top of the mat or anything, it's still at an angle. And then just depending on your hips, if you're very open in your hips, you might want to be more like your left knee towards your right heel. For I think most people, left knee towards the center of your right foot. So you can stand up here from this position. And then there will be a little bit of a balance. This is control, it's going to be your glute. So hands to your chest, you're going to sit back and press forward to come up. So this is where you might need to, I need to rotate my back shin out a little bit, or set my front shin out wider or whatever, so that you can sit back and lift up. And every time that you sit back and press forward, you should really feel that right glute working. And then when you come up, you should feel a little stretch in the front of the hips. And as you kind of find your balance, I already got a crack, might feel a little bit more possibility for opening. So go a little deeper. Let's do 2 more on this side. And the last one, really hold it up, really press, squeeze, lengthen away from your hips. And we'll try the other side. So hands go down to the floor, left shin's gonna come in front. This side because I'm more challenging for me for balance. So again, you might have to play with it. I'm going knee into the basically center of my left foot. And as your hips are more open, you might want to work your way closer to your heel for balance. You might want to bring the right shin out a little bit more for balance. Once you get into it, you can make adjustments. Again, hands to your chest. Sit your hips back. Press forward. Usually the second side of this kind of thing you feel a little bit more because your right one still remembers. And now you're firing up that left one. And every time you come forward, kind of press forward, squeeze it with your right glute as you help bring it forward, get more opening or release of any tightness throughout your psoas. I want to do these because it's hard to not feel it in these, right? So if you're not sure, when you come up, try to feel it in your glute, feel it in your hamstring. So it's not just that initial lower and lift, but as you press forward, you feel that engagement pretty distinctly. 3 more. And so that when we're working the back line, we're working those muscles, sometimes people have a hard time connecting into those muscles. You'll remember this sensation. This is what you want to feel. It's pressing forward. This engagement through the back body. All right, last one, hold it forward, press it forward, lengthen. And then bring your hands down. Then we're gonna go into an all fours position. So whatever is most ergonomical for you to find your all fours. Shoulders over wrists, hips over your knees. First, we're just gonna mobilize a little bit more around the rib cage. And if you're not used to doing this kind of stuff, this might be hard to feel too, but give it a try. So kind of like your cat-cow, but also moving to the side. So you can try first, just kind of like arching to the sides. It's just kind of like squeezing your shoulder towards your hip and your shoulder towards your hip, right and left. That shortens the side of the ribs. And then we'll hold in the center and we're gonna scoop the belly, rounding up, and then we're gonna bring our body over to the side. And then we're gonna go back into our cow, and then we're gonna slide to the other side. So lifting, side, lowering, side. So you're just rolling your rib cage around. And if it's not coming smoothly yet, just slow it down. Otherwise, we'll try going in the other direction. So swinging to the left, letting everything hang out, passive back bend. Swing it to the right, scoop it up, left, hang, right, lift. So as we go through, just generally having that awareness of how you're using those muscles in the mid-back and around your ribs can be very helpful. And then also, knowing that we get a lot of this mobility through our side bodies, so getting the obliques ready to help us. I'm going to take one more here. And then find your center, find your neutral. So not cat, not cow, center. And from here, I'll take the right leg out long, press back into the ball edge of your right foot, and send your left arm forward. And then make sure you're not leaning back, shoulders over the wrist, lift your right leg up. Flex through your right foot, so you're pressing back through your heel so you feel the back of your right leg and your glute. And then draw your knee towards your elbow, elbow towards your knee, cat and upper back. And extend out, reaching long, strong hamstring, strong glute. Back in and out at your own pace. Still lifting and pressing away from the floor with your right arm, so don't sink into that shoulder. Every time try to lengthen out through your leg and your arm, reaching long to the left side body and the right side body. And let's do just a couple more. This next one, the last time we hug in, extend out, reach your left arm out to the side, not back in, just out to the side. So we haven't really been back bending yet. Now we're going to start doing some back bending, but first we're going to go extra super slow-mo with this one and get as much out of it as we can. So bring your right heel towards your butt, as close as you can towards your butt, still foot flexed. And then press up. And then reach your left hand back if you can, all the way at the ankle. And then keep it with the foot flexed and press up. And so you cannot press up anymore, and don't rush yourself. Maybe you can do more than you think. And then once you've got as much as you think is there, then point your toes and see if you can get another inch or two. And then slowly reverse your way out, everything long, and bring it down. All right, if you need to take a break on the arms, take a break on the arms. Otherwise, we'll take a break on the arms. We'll just go a little bit more into the hip mobility on this right leg. So let's just circle the right leg. So you're just drawing your knee around and out to the side towards your wrist or your elbow. 2. Last one. And then when you're in this position, shortening through the right side of the body, come up onto your right fingertips and replace your hand with your foot. And then make sure the hips are square, so walk your hands back. Maybe you can lean forward a little bit, lean back a little bit. Basically coming into a lizard lunge. If you need to adjust a little bit, find the perfect spot where you're getting a nice stretch to the front of your left hip. You can stay up on your hands, but still most of the weight's out of the hands now, so it's a little break. Or you can come down onto your forearms, if that's a possibility. Or you can take a block here and use a block if you are kind of in that mid-range between the two. If you don't have a block, we're doing half movement in the flow later, so a block is going to be helpful for a lot of people. So a block would be a good thing to have, especially if you want to just play with deeper variations. That's going to be a way to make that more accessible the first couple times around. All right, you can always hover the back foot if you like, back knee, back shin, not back foot, but coming up, off if you want to work that a little bit more. Otherwise, from this position, we're going to come up and stretch back for a half splits. And then from here, just sliding the foot right and left. Moving the hip. And then one more, we'll come up, finding our lifted position. Arms up over your head. You can hold your wrist or cross your thumbs. And we're just going to lean out towards the right, lengthening through the left side body. This should be a nice stretch for the left psoas, so keep pressing your left hip forward. And then come back to center. And again, you're just going to take your hands down. Probably you're in the same spot. The right hand's going to replace the foot, so tuck your back toes and let that right leg go back down onto your knees. Adjust if you need to get back into your proper all fours position. This time left leg extends out long. Rest the ball mound of your foot. Reach your right arm forward. And this back foot can stay, right foot can stay tucked or flat to the ankle, whatever's easier balance for you. Left leg comes out, flex your foot. Really try to create length, create space. If you have the flexibility like I want to just go into a back bend here, go too high. So really keep pulling in into that front of the left hip to keep yourself in the center. Elbow towards knee. And then reach out, flex your foot, really feel the back of the leg. At your own pace, lengthening, and then pulling shorter through the front body. Still pressing with your left arm, so make sure you have the strength for that. That's more important than anything else. You don't want to build up a pattern of sinking down into that shoulder. A couple more of these. It's a good chance to get a little bit of that abdominal contraction as well. This will be the last two. Last one, hold it, and then extend out long. Just like before, not rushing anything. Reach your right arm out to the side. Send your left heel towards your butt, still flexing your foot. And then add a little kick up. Reach back, see if you can get all the way at the ankle. And then kick into your hand with your foot flexed. So really try to activate the muscle in the leg and the glute. See what you can get. And then once you've pretty much exhausted, that's as much as I can get, then point your toes and see if you can get a little bit more. And then slowly reverse back long and come back out. And we'll just redo the same thing on the left side. So just bring your left knee towards your elbow or towards your wrist a couple of times, repeating, just moving in an external rotation. 2. Last one. Bring it down, replacing the hand with the foot. You can rock back and forth a little bit. Square your hips. Find where it makes sense for you. And then once you know you're in the right spot, either coming down into your forearms or staying on your hands with your hands inside your left foot. You know, it's the option to tuck your right toes and lift your right leg up if you're going to feel like you get more from that. Or keep that right knee down. And then we'll free the left leg, sit back. Not taking a long time here in the half splits, but just getting a little bit more hip mobility, so just let the left foot go right and left. And a little more warmed up through the ankle. And then we'll come forward. And if you need to adjust, adjust. Lift up tall. Hold the wrist or cross the thumbs. Let your body go to the left, stretching out the front of your right hip. You might need to pull the ribs in a little bit. And then come back up to center. And again, bring your right hand down, replace your left foot with your left hand and send it back. All right, we're gonna go into our first downward facing dog. So, tuck your toes and just send your hips back and up. And just a couple times we're gonna roll through the spine here for these. So from your downward facing dog, inner thighs kind of rolling back, triceps kind of wrapping back. So you're kind of drawing in on yourself. And then press forward, so you're in a plank. And we're going to try moving from plank to down dog with a little bit of mobility in the spine. So from your plank, shoulders over your wrist, start to arch up even more. Press the floor away even more. And then send that into your mid-back, and then send that into your low back, and then press your heels towards the floor. And then moving from your low spine to come forward, curl up with your low belly, curl up through your mid-belly, curl into your chest, and send yourself forward into your plank. Just 2 more times. Press away from the floor with a round. Exaggerate your upper back, your middle back, your lower back. Send it all the way up towards your heels. Lift up, curling the tail under. Send it into your mid-back, curling through your mid and low ribs, and then forward through your chest, and lengthening out, looking forward into your plank. 1 more. Scoop, lift, round, send everything back. And then tuck, lift, curl everything as you come forward. All right, from this position, in your regular plank, look forward. We're just going to step our feet up as many steps as you need. Take your halfway lift, lengthen out through your spine, forward fold. And then inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And bring your arms down by your sides, Samasthiti. We're going to do 3 quick Sanays, just rolling through, getting a little bit more mobility. So, arms up over your head, look up, lift. Always inhale as you bring your arms up like that. Exhale as you fold your body forward. Inhale to halfway lift, lengthening through your spine, wide across your collarbones, lengthen your low back. And then send the legs back, lower yourself down. I'm going to go extra slow, working on the knees, chest, chin, and going in towards a full cobra. So if you'd like to try this, the knees go down, the chest goes forward, just like you would normally in your chaturanga. You can go all the way down, really arching into your tail, exaggerating just like we flowed through before. And then lift up. Either you keep the legs down onto the floor or come into your up dog if you'd like to work on the full cobra. I'm going to exaggerate these by flexing my feet. Normally point the toes, but I'm going to flex my feet and just try to get as much power as I can in my legs. I can touch my heels or not. And then bring your feet down, press away from the floor, come up, downward facing dog. Just 1 more breath here. And look forward, either step or jump your feet up in between your hands. Take a halfway lift. And exhale, lower in. Inhale all the way up. Look up. Exhale, arms down by your side, chin at parallel. Inhale, look up, lift up. Exhale, fold it on yourself. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step your legs back. Exhale all the way as you come down, whatever you choose. If you're doing that knees, chest, chin, really try to arch into your low back. Snake your body through. Lift up. There's still some bend in the elbows. You have to play with where your hand position is. You can point the toes, or you can flex your feet. Roll the shoulders back, whatever you're doing. And then back up into downward facing dog. 2 breaths here again. Use your inhales to broaden your chest. Feel that sensation of reaching your chest towards your thighs and lengthening back down through your heels. Look forward. Step or jump. If you're jumping, bend your knees. You're getting that little arch in your low back. As you pop up, look forward, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale all the way up. Look up. Exhale, arms down by your side. And last one, inhale. Arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Create some space. Every time you halfway lift, you're lifting away from those folds in your hips. And then exhale, send it back. Again, if you're doing the knees, chest, chin, lower down, arch. Pull your body through. Your forearms might go all the way to the floor on the way there. Come up. Maybe add in the feet, or maybe you just want to skip that into your hovering of your legs. Your choice. And send the feet back. Downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Bend your knees as much as you need to keep the space in the low spine, to keep your pelvis from arching into your low back. So you've got that space there here as well. And then look forward, either step or jump your feet up towards your hands. Just lift and lower in on yourself. All the way up, inhale. And exhale, arms down by your side. We're going to a version of chair. So sit your hips low. Interlace your fingers, press your palms down towards the floor, and then reach your arms up. So ideally your arms are going to be around your cheekbones, but that may or may not be accessible. Palms up towards the ceiling, hips low, ribs in, pull the belly in. Weight towards your heels. And then let the arms go behind. Interlace your fingers, roll the heads, the shoulders back, scoop your belly in, round forward towards your knees. And then take a version of a halfway lift here, so lengthening your spine, broadening across your chest, just reaching your arms back behind you, hips low. Bring your hands down to the floor. We're going to go through another flow. Step back, exhaling all the way down, whatever that process is for you. And inhale as you create your lift in your back bend. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Just one breath. Send your right leg up high. We're going to stay here for a minute, so make sure you're not leaning all your weight into one arm. Not literally a minute. But you have good control, so your chest isn't twisting. This is just the hip. So I'm going to bring my right leg up as high as I can, really press through my heel, and then draw my heel towards my butt. And then one more time, opening up my right knee to the ceiling, using that strong back of the leg, and then press it out again. So I am having some rotation here in my hip, obviously, but I'm trying to keep my chest more parallel to the floor and really isolate this to my hip. And also, you should feel the back of your leg and your glute and trying to get as straight and as strong, as powerful through the leg as you can. And then bring your heel back towards your bum, draw your knee back towards your other knee, and send your leg forward, coming into your crescent lunge position. So square your hips. If you need to take a moment with your fingers on the floor to get it right, or you need to take a little break to bring your hands up to your hips and get it right, do what you need to do to find your position. Lift up away from your waistband. We're going to take 3 times to deepen this position. So if you've never done this, especially if you have the tight hamstrings and you always have a bend in your back leg, this is very valuable. So what we're going to do is actively bend through the back leg. Bend it, and then without letting your hips come up higher, straighten, press it back as much as you can. Really use your left glute. And feel your right glute firing up too to help you balance and control the movement. 2 more times, bend, it's gonna make you go lower. And then really try to press back all the way with your left heel, straighten it. 1 more time, bend, and straighten. Ooh, shaking is normal. Then cross your thumbs, take a little back bend. Lift your chest, expand through the front of your rib cage. And come forward, reach your arms back. Chest expansion, arms, humble warrior. So you're going to bring your body inside your right leg. Reach your arms up and over. Keep trying to square the hips. You're pulling that right hip back. And then release your hands down. So left hand comes inside the right foot or on block. And roll your chest open, stacking your shoulders, right arm reaching up towards the ceiling. Pull your right hip back, left hip forward, and look up towards your right hand. We're going to play with these. This is a lot of strength for your lower body, so you can stay here. We're going to eventually come up. But if you want a leeway point to test yourself, left hand up towards the floor to your chest. Feel those legs work. Then come up. And right hand towards the back of your left leg, left arm up. Look up over your right shoulder. You can look towards your left hand. Reverse, revolve. Wonderful stretch to the left side body. And then just spiral. So spiral your right arm forward, your left arm back, your left foot down, coming into warrior two. Open your chest. Rolling out through the upper right thigh. Heel to your left foot forward a little bit, because we're going to pop up into the right leg for a balancing half moon. So again, if you want the block above your right foot. Otherwise, you can reach your right hand down, lift your left leg up, and try to press out through that left heel. You can keep your right knee as bent as you need to. Stack your shoulders again. And if you're up for the balance challenge, you can look up towards your left fingertips. If you want more balance challenge, you can lift your right foot or right hand up off the floor. And then slowly send your left leg back. Keep the front leg bent or go into the bent front leg. And reverse your warrior, stretching through the right side of the body. We're going to do a lot of that, twisting from the right to the left. Again, you can look down at your left heel or up at your right hand. And cartwheel the arms. Send your right leg back. Exhale on your way down, whatever version you're doing, take your flow. And back to downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. And try the same thing on the other side. So first, lifting up through the left leg. Make sure you can keep your weight through your right and left hand, pressing into each fingertip, and particularly staying active through the area between your thumb and your second fingers, stronger part of the hand. And as you extend your left leg, flex your left foot. Try to use the back of the leg. Stay really active there. Once you're as high as you can, bend your heel towards your glute and reach your knee up. Still trying to keep the chest square and then extend out through that leg. Opening up as much as you can in the hip. And then bring your knee back towards your other knee, square everything off. Send your knee forward towards your chest to set the foot down. Replacing the hand, coming into your crescent lunge. Again, go as slow as you need, be as mindful as you need to make sure you've got your legs in their little railroad tracks, your glutes, your low back, you're not twisting, right? So you can always bring your hands to your low back, and that's a good way to test it, to make sure that your low back is one line, the back of your head is roughly in line with your low back, so your body's not very forward like this. Find your crescent lunge. And we'll do that horrible thing again of actively bending the back leg and then pressing out through the right heel, straightening. So this is going to draw you lower and also help to straighten the back leg if that's an issue for you. 2 more times, bend and straighten. If you're already at a pretty low position, you don't need to get any lower. Just be mindful of that. Use it instead as a way to lift up and create more space in the front of your left hip. 1 more time, bend. And straighten. Again, shaking should be, I don't know. If you can do this without shaking, I don't know who you are. This causes a lot of shaking for me. Very active through the glutes. And then from this position, let's start to take our back bend. So cross at your thumbs. Using the glutes to help you stay strong, help you balance. Inner thighs also help you balance. Reach your arms up and back. You can do a different arm variation. This is just one that feels particularly good for me. Then coming forward, reversing the position of the arms behind you. Interlace your fingers. You can always switch the opposite thumb on top if that's something you know you have a preference. Balance it out. Humble your warrior, bringing your body more inside of your left thigh. Pull your left hip back, your right hip forward. And then chest forward, send your right hand out inside of the left footer to a block. Roll your chest out, left arm stacks up, shoulders stacked one on top of the other. Again, work on squaring the hips. So you're getting as much of that twist as you can through your abdomen and your rib cage. You can play with bringing your right hand to your chest for added strengthening of the legs. Or just going from the hand to the floor to the open arm twist to your left. And left hand comes to the back of the right thigh. There's also a good opportunity to feel that you're pressing into your hand. Look over your left shoulder or up towards your right hand and twist. Spiral the arms. Right arm sweeps back, left arm sweeps forward, back foot comes down. Coming into your warrior two. Working outwards through your left upper thigh, broadening across your chest, stacking again, stretching along through your fingertips and your arms. Notice if they've got way more weight in one leg or the other, try to keep it even. And then heel toe the foot in. Now the weight's going to shift into your left leg. So bend your left leg as much as you need. Press up. You can keep the left leg bent. More work to straighten that leg. Just find stability. Stacking up your joints. And reach longer across your arms. Again, balance challenge. You can look up towards your right fingertips. Stay active out through your right heel. Press all the way through your back right hamstring and glute. For added balance challenge, you can lift your left hand up, hovering, maybe coming onto one finger or one less finger than you had before, or trying to bring your hand to your chest, reaching one line from your elbow to your right fingertips. And then bend your left leg to help lower you back, wherever your arms were doing. Finding your reverse warrior, right hand to your thigh. Again, use your strong back leg, press into your hand, reach longer through the side of your body, hips stay low. And cartwheel your arms. Reach your left leg back. Lower yourself down. Chest comes forward regardless of what version you're doing. Roll the heads of the shoulders back. Take your back bend. And press your feet down. Come back into your downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Forward, we're going to play just a little bit with the scorpion leg. So when we come forward, kind of like we did before, rolling forward, arching, scooping back. So we're going to play with coming forward, right knee towards your right elbow, wrist, forearm, and then send it back and just arch it, just bend your knee. Come forward, right knee towards right elbow, wrist, or forearm, upper arm, and then send it back. So just doing this a couple of times, getting into this rhythm, scooping the belly, and then back bending, scooping, and back bending. 2 more times. And then send that leg down. And do the same thing on the other side. So if you need a break, take a break. Come back into your downward facing dog, or come down into your knees. Otherwise, forward into your plank, left knee towards your left elbow or wrist or forearm, then bring it up and arch your back. And you send it back, really try to use that strength, pressure out through your heel. Couple more on this side. Last 2. bring it down, bring the knees down. You can put child's pose. We're going to try adding in the push-up. Optional, but you can add the push-up if you want. So, coming back to our plank position, and then set it up into a downward facing dog. So again, kind of rolling forward. So coming forward, as you roll forward, leg arches up and back, and that arch into your low back, chest forward, lower down, pull yourself through, and then basically lifting up to a one leg version. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So for your downward facing dog, send your leg back, arch it, and then come forward, chest forward, lower yourself down, arch your spine, one leg version here. Come back one more time each side. Downward facing dog, right leg up, arch it, chest forward, lower yourself down, and you can keep the leg up if you'd like. And send it back. Last one, left side, downward facing dog, arch your leg back, press up to your heel, bring your body forward, lower yourself down, you're gonna arch as much as you can. And come back into the child's pose. All right, second round, we'll go through a little quicker, so maybe a little less shaking in the legs, moving a little quicker. Come back into your downward facing dog. And step or jump, again for jumping, bend your knees, get a little arch. And light, lift your chest, forward fold, and inhale. All the way, look up. Arms down by your side. Back into our chair, so your hips low. And release your fingers. Press your palms down to the floor, and bring your arms up, palms up, scoop your belly, tuck your tail, pull the ribs in. Create a little space. Shoulders down, even as you reach your arms up. Then reach your arms back and release your fingers and round your spine, looking in the opposite direction, forward towards your knees, arms up and over, hips low, weight back. Halfway lift, pull the shoulders back, hands to the floor, and send the legs back. Your version of a flow. If you're getting tired, you can always modify these. And take a child's pose, your feet up and downward facing dog. And then back into downward facing dog. Flowing through on the right side. Bring your right leg up. Still we're going to open the hip. And you can stay here or take a few circles. Your leg bent. One more. And then straighten, square, send your right leg forward. Coming up into your crescent lunge. Again, you can test yourself. Make sure you're in a good position. Take your backward bend. Even here, I'm switching opposite thumb on top. This is a really weird thumb on top for me, but trying to be aware of that. And come forward, reach your arms back, roll the shoulders back. Coming into your warrior. Humble warrior with your chest inside your right leg as much as possible. Don't strain your neck. This is when sometimes I'm trying to look forward, but you don't need to strain your neck. And then square yourself off again. Left hand to the floor, right arm up, pull that right hip back. Maybe you want your left hand up off the floor. Feel your heart beating. Come up. Reverse revolve. Take a little back bend. Press through your back leg. Cartwheel your arms. Roll the back foot down for your warrior two. Stay low. Heel toe the left foot in. And you can get your weight into your right leg. Lift off. Take your balancing half moon. Flex strong back to the left leg. When you look towards the left side, you should be able to see your left foot. If you can't see your left foot, you're in a back bend. And then bend your right leg, send your left leg back, reverse your warrior. Cartwheel your arms, send your right leg back. If you'd like to try that scorpion, instead of just going into your flow, you can reach your right leg up or play with bending it. Sometimes you have to play with where you want to start the bend. And starting to bring your body through. Maybe feeling a little bit more of that in scorpion. Back into downward facing dog. One breath. And let's go right into the other side. Left leg up. And open the hip again. You're doing the other side. Some circles so you can bend your knee. Get some rotations in there if that feels good. If you don't feel stable doing this with your arms, then it's not time to do this yet. Almost come down to your right knee and let yourself do it in the all fours position if you really want that hip mobility. And then extend, square your hips, draw your left leg forward, coming into the crescent position all the way up. Super strong through the back leg. Maybe bending and straightening if you want it, otherwise just finding your stability, going into your back bend. Come up, reach your arms back, pull the shoulders back, round in, bring your body inside your left leg. Chest forward, bring your right hand down, left arm up, square the hips, find those inner thighs, let them help you balance. Option to bring your right hand up. It's harder to stay here in this low. Eventually you're going to have to bring the arm up to help you come up and transition into your open arm twist, into your reverse revolve. And then cartwheel your arms, roll the back foot down, coming into your warrior two. And tilt the right foot in a little bit, find your weight in your left leg. Bend it, use it to lift you off. Whew. And then make sure again that that leg's not behind you, so that's where you're going to be arching into your low back. So it's straight out from the right hip. Maybe trying a balance challenge here. Bring that left side of your chest forward towards the right. And send your right leg back. Reverse your warrior. And cartwheel your arms. Take your version of the flow. Again, if you wanted to try, you can play with your version here, keeping your leg up, maybe working into some kind of extra stretch there through the front of the hip. And then coming into your back bend, your down facing dog. So the thing is, even if you're not getting I'm not getting my foot near my head, but it feels such a wonderful stretch in the front of my hip. It's going to be overall good for back bends. And just good for if you've been working on a lot of lotus, that'll help release tension there in your hip flexors. So back into your downward facing dog. We're going to take another little strength interlude here, but also mobility. So coming forward into the plank. This time we're going to do some knee slides. So right knee up as high as you can towards your right armpit. Slide it down towards your wrist and back up. Down towards your wrist, back up, down, last time up, then rotate out, just like when we did those rotations with hip opening with the knee, and roll into the edge of your left foot coming into a wild thing. So the right foot perched up, and you can lift your chest and do as much or as little back bend as you'd like. Shoulder should still be over the left wrist. And then use that right leg to help you come back. Right leg up and set it down. Do the same thing on the other side. So coming forward, left knee as high up as you can towards your armpit. Slide it down towards your wrist and back up. If it's not in contact, just getting as close as you can. Maybe 3 of them. And then roll on the right foot. Rotate out through your left leg. Perch to the left toes. And lift and open your chest, spiraling open as much as is available. Where you still feel stable. Again, right shoulder over your right wrist. And come back to center. Left leg down. We'll do that one more time each side because they're fun. So, forward into your plank. Right knee as high as you can. Lower it, lift it, lower it, lift it, lower it, lift. Rotate out, slide on the left foot. Perch that foot back. Stack yourself up, lift your chest. If you wanted to go into a full wheel from here, you can. I'm not going to do that on video because probably 30% of the time when I try to come back, I fall out. So, and then come back, right leg up. I'm willing to fall out of stuff, but that's a little bit too risky for me for this. When I'm practicing on my own though, I do it almost every time because that's how I'm going to get it down to 20% or whatever it might be. All right, let's try the other side. Coming forward into your plank, left knee up, lower it, lift it, lower it, lift it. This is the really abs. And then bring your body over, land on those toes, lift your chest. Make sure you haven't moved away from the wrist, right? You're still opening up, not moving away, lifting and opening. And then come back. Left leg up. And take a child's pose. Bring your knees down. Stretch out. If you need some break for the wrist, you can also use these as a time to stretch out your wrists. Always better to be smart on that. Take breaks when you need versus just like overdoing it and getting some tendonitis issues, right? If you're building up that strength, you gotta be smart about it and not push too much right at the beginning. And then come on up. Take your downward facing dog. Either step or jump your feet in between your hands. Halfway lift. Fold in. And all the way up. Inhale up. And arms down by your side. This third time around, I'm going to add some variations. So, feel free to take it as we've been doing it or add in some of the tougher stuff if you want to try it. Okay. First, our chair. Sit your hips low. Interlace your fingers. Press down. Lift your arms up. Shoulders are still rolling down even as you reach higher. Find your better chair. So take some of that arch out of your low back. Pull the ribs in and lengthen. And then reach your arms back. Interlace your fingers round and forward towards your knees. So one way we can make this a little bit more challenging is to actually come up onto the toes. If you want to do this kind of half bay, just find yourself up onto your toes. This should already be challenging. The more you round your spine, the more the balance is going to be tricky. So if you're actually trying to keep your forehead to your knees, this is a real tough one. And then take your halfway lift and forward fold. Send your legs back. Take a flow, whatever version you're working on at this point in your class. And back up into your downward facing dogs, just one breath. Right leg comes up. No fanfare, just one time. Press your knee up, open your hip, press through your heel, use your glute. Bring it back in, send it forward, square yourself off, lift your chest, take a little back bend. And then come back up. We're going to play just a little bit here. So we're going to skip our humble warrior. Bring your left hand to the floor. Reach your right arm up just like we did before. Bring your left knee down this time. And you can flatten out through the back foot for now. Coming up in the open arm twist, so kind of actually taking this down a bit to begin with. But we're going to reach back. So if you have your foot untucked, you can tuck it and make it a little bit more accessible. And from here, reaching. I'm going to try to actually grab my ankle like I did at the very beginning of class, which may or may not be accessible. So you can also hold on higher up your leg. But maybe you've done enough to get you ready for this. So if you can hold your ankle, then maybe you can also straighten your leg. I don't know if I've got it right now. but it's just a way to really deepen out those reverse revolves you've been doing. So if you got it, have to adjust. You can try to lift your bottom leg up and straighten it. Oh, not today. Otherwise, just finding the depth here, letting yourself get a nice long stretch here. This should feel like a big stretch. And then coming forward and press back up onto the back leg. Roll out for your warrior two. Inhale to the back foot in, coming up into your half moon, your balance. And so this is why I said, even if you don't really need a block for half moon, you might want one for this. So you could try the Sugar King, the version where you curl your foot in towards your bum and hold out your foot, hold out your ankle, and create a little bit of a back bend. So the balance is more of a challenge, obviously, when you're arching your back. You can look down towards your right fingertips on the floor. You can even try to balance here. And then slowly reverse your way back out, back to your reverse warrior. And we're going to add a little bit, so just coming back into a warrior two, but we're going to spin. So from our warrior two, we're going to spin around, cartwheel in the arms, left hand comes down, shoulder has to go all the way over your left wrist, coming onto the outside edge of your foot, just as we did before, for a plank, or a version of plank. You can bring your bottom leg down. Make sure you can stack everything up, you feel supported. And you can either bring your foot behind you, go back into another wild thing if that felt really good. Or you can also try a balance challenge here of, again, holding your foot, curling your foot towards your butt, and getting a little back bend. Whatever you chose, come back into your plank, and then bring your right hand down, and take your flow. Into your downward facing dog. Try that same thing on the other side. One inhale, one exhale. Bring your left leg up. And just a quick opening of the hip, bending your knee, lengthening out, pressing through your heel. And then bring it forward, send it through, coming up into your lunge. Really starting through your back leg. Find your balance, take your back bend. And then come back up. Hands frame the front foot and come down onto the right knee. Again, opening up through the side, just like we did before standing, but now you have the legs on the floor to give you a little bit more security. And then tip back. Just like our reverse revolve, you can stay working here. This feels good. Maybe you can get your ankle. Maybe you can lift yourself back up. It's a big ask. So if you've got it, close on the other side, but still not quite there. You can find where you're getting a big stretch, stay there. And then come back up. We'll come all the way back up, rolling out into our warrior two. Heel toe the right foot in. Send your weight into your left leg. Come up. Flex your right foot. Maybe staying there, maybe taking a variation. Okay, the balance saw is going to be stacking your joints in your left leg. So you're really able to use the muscle all the way around the leg to stabilize you and find center. And then send your right leg back. Take your reverse warrior. Back into your warrior two. This time the right hand will spiral around. So spiraling the right hand forward, make sure your shoulder can stack over your right wrist, roll into the outer edge of your right foot. You can also stay here and take a nice, this should feel like a really nice hip stretch, not bringing your left leg up, or bring it back into your side plank. You can tuck it behind, lift up and do another wild thing, or maybe playing with that balance in the side plank, holding your right ankle, flexing through your right foot, look down towards your right hand. And then slowly find yourself back into your side plank. Left hand down, one flow. And back into down facing dog. Let's take one more side plank on each side just because it's so much fun. So, rolling into your left hand, you can stack everything up, range long, traditional side plank. You can add your right leg up, or, so we have been doing a lot of hips, maybe a half lotus version. This is a really nice one, feels very good for me. And then if you have your foot in half lotus, bring it down. And we'll just switch sides and send the right hand down. Again, make sure you're stacked up. You're not starting to lean back behind your hand. Pressing through each fingertip. Use your strength that you got. Reach out. Maybe stay there. Maybe add that same variation. If you took a variation, add it to the side. And then coming back to center. Send your knees down. And just take a child's pose. Reach out long with your hands and your fingers. And look forward and come forward. We'll do some deeper stretches on the floor now that we're nice and warmed up. So first, they call it Bikram, the fixed firm, or Hero's position. So slide yourself down in between your heels. If this is not accessible, you can sit down on a block. Just stretching out the top of the legs, quads. And you can stay here. The knees are not loving this with the ankles. You don't have to force it with the knees or the ankles, but if you can get these nice straight lines where everything stacks up and you feel you've got more to give, then hands to the floor or to your feet. Lower yourself down, either to your forearms and staying here, or all the way down. You can arch your back or go flat back. Just find where's comfortable for you. If you're going all the way down, you can add the holding of the elbows. Slight tuck of the chin, the back of the neck gets longer. And then from here, slowly start to help yourself out. Again, take your time. And when we come up, we're going to take some back bends from here. So you can just place your hands forward, send your legs back, and lower yourself down. First, we're just going to take one more Cobra. So hands in close along the sides of your chest. If you'd like to try the legs up version, you can bring your legs wider and look down towards your mat. Slowly start to curl everything up. Bring your chin up or forward, and at the top you can start to bring your head up or back. Arms can go straight or closer to straight, and then you can bend your feet and really stretch out again through the front of the body, maybe playing with where you are in relation to your upper body and lower body where your hands are placed. Just make sure the shoulders are not here. This is not going to be helpful for any part of this pose. So make sure you can roll your shoulders back. Press your pelvis forward and down. And then slowly lower the legs. Lower your chest. And your legs back in closer towards each other. Take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Roll the arms back, lift your chest. You can stay there, add the legs up for a version of locust. sure the hands are not on the butt. You're reaching further back above your butt. You can pull your chest up and forward more. And then lower down. Take a little break, look to the right. Left ear on the towel. You can wiggle your hips a little bit if that feels good. And then look to the left. And chin forward. First we're going to go into a bow. So bring your legs up. Hold on, either at your ankles or different place, but since I've been trying to be more active through my legs, I'm going to hold at the ankles and really try to use the back of the legs. So if you're doing this version, you can keep your legs on the floor. If you're rolling more into your low back, you can hold higher on your feet and let your legs come up. Finding your version of bow. And working more into your upper back or more into your whole spine. Even in this version, I can feel it all the way through my back. I'm really trying to use my hamstrings. And then from this position, we're going to work a little bit on Bakasana, frog. So left arm comes forward parallel to the top of your mat. Right leg comes up. And you're going to take on the inside. So right now my thumb is right here, like my thumb and my second finger create a little around my big toe. So from that position, I can bring my foot down and then roll my elbow up. So my fingers will just roll over the tops of my feet or my foot. So you can play with that a little bit, right? It's a little bit of rotation at the shoulder. And then press the right foot down towards the floor. Should be very warmed up for this kind of activity, so it should feel good. And then release it. We'll try the other side. And if you're not getting there, you're not getting as close, bring your hand closer towards your body. The more further you are out, the harder it's going to be to reach back. If you get higher up, you can get closer. So find where you need to be. Again, kind of wrapping your thumb and your second finger towards the big toe. And then as the foot comes down, elbow rolls up, fingertips roll forward over your toes. Once you get comfortable with that movement, you can really create some pressure down. Again, this shouldn't strain your knee. If it strains your knee, come on out. Just feel like a wonderful stretch into the front of your left hip and your quad. And then this next one is one of my favorites, and I haven't been doing it much at all lately, so I'm very rusty with it, but it's a lot of a brain exercise because one leg is going down and one leg is going up. So it's kind of a combination of the bow and the frog. So I'll try with my right foot being the one that's really down to the floor. So left hand comes back to hold somewhere on your left foot. So this leg is going to kick and the right leg is going to lower at the same time, which is why it's weird for your brain. So you can set up from the same spot inside, but then this hand rolls out and down to press it down, and this hand allows the leg to kick up. We'll try it again on the other side. So now this one, I'm going to kick into this hand, and this foot, I'm going to press down to the floor. And the chest can come forward. You can lift up as much as is available, right? It might not be a very big back bend, that's for sure. We'll try one more time each side. So now my right foot's going to press down again. And you can play with, for the second set, maybe thinking about the other leg first, seeing mentally how you can get that focus, what works for you. And come back, take a moment in the center. If you're feeling any tension here, you can always take a moment, release it. And last one, balancing it out. And lower it down. All right, let's take one shoulder stretch here because that can be intense for the shoulders. So we're going to do just another version, kind of rolling the shoulder underneath. So for this one, let's still start off rolling towards the camera. So left arm goes out long, right hand perched up along the side of your chest. You're just gonna roll your body over towards the left, so you're stacking your weight as much or as little as you want on your left shoulder. If you want more, you can kind of perch up on one foot or both feet. And just let that twist in your torso, give more weight to the shoulder. And then come back to center, we'll do the same thing the other direction. Right arm comes out long, left hand perched on the side of your chest, or roll the weight into the right shoulder. Relax your head down. Maybe you want to bring your left foot up, maybe you want to bring both. That's more intense, so find what makes sense for you. And come back to center. And then press yourself up. Okay, a couple more stretches. We're going to go into a rabbit. If you're new to rabbit, I would recommend starting off hands by your knees. We're going to curl in just like we did in our chair, forehead towards the knees. So curling in, rounding, but now your head is on the floor. So very little weight on the head. Try not to rock forward into your neck. Let this be more the low abs. So beginner position, hands at knees. If you know this one, you're comfortable with it, hands at your heels. So you can always start here and bring your hands back if you're comfortable. I'll demo that. So tuck your chin, round your spine, bring your forehead towards your knees. And then go ahead and grab your heels and lift your hips up. Keep squeezing the legs together, scooping the belly, shoulders away from your ears. Very little weight in your head. And then slowly curl yourself up. One of my favorite versions of this is for the chest expansion arms. If you've got any neck issues, you're not sure about the weight of the head in this one, redo what we just did. If you're confident in this one, you know you're not going to roll your weight into your neck. You can add on the chest expansion arms. So reach your arms back, tuck your chin, and curl in. Carefully come back up, letting your arms pull you back and up. You want to take a reverse stretch to the top, stretch your throat. Love it for my shoulders. And then we're going to go into a cow face. So, cow face position, left knee in front, right knee stacks on top of left knee. If you need to finagle a little bit, finagle a little bit. For those of you that have the really open hips, your heels will just be lined up along the sides of you on your edges of your feet. For those of us who are a little tighter, top leg's a little higher, foot maybe isn't as back as far. But if this is okay, you can stay here. If you need to, you can straighten the bottom leg and do it with one leg bent, one leg straight. And we're going to take this into a twist. So from this position, palm to palm, bring your left elbow towards your right knee. And then twist your body. I need to scoop my foot out a little bit more so I can really let that hip feel the stretch. And then come back to center. Any amount of forward fold that's available to you. If you're just able to lay down flat, do it. Otherwise, just letting your body drape over your legs as much as is available. Try to relax into your hips a little bit. Any more breaths here. Every time as you exhale, try to release the tension and let your hip relax deeper to the floor. And then look forward. This is kind of an odd one, but I like it, so let's try it. Hands in front of you, walk your hands forward until both knees come down to the floor. Otherwise, you're still in your cow face position, right? My right knee is on the floor, so my left hand is going to plant forward in front of me. My right arm reaches back, just like we've been doing all class, and opening up. And then from here, the bottom leg comes up. You can bring the foot into your hand, or maybe go all the way back to the ankle. Maybe you need to slide the left hand back, and just twist. Use this as a twist. Your side body. I should do this so you can see. this position. And then come back to center. And we'll just switch from center. You can just switch the opposite leg in front. Left knee in front, sit back. Maybe you need to slide the feet wider. Maybe you want to extend the lower leg. Find what works for you. This time the left leg's in front, so hands to the chest. We'll twist the right elbow towards the left knee. Keeping the spine long, keeping the body lifted, just letting yourself twist, letting that hip release down to the floor. You should really feel like you're wringing out your rib cage. And then come back to center and fold forward. And try to release down through the hips, so letting those kind of layers of fascia slowly release one and then the next. Two more breaths. And then again, bring your hands forward, roll forward to both knees, come down to the floor. This time my left knee's in front, so my right hand will be the one that places in front. Left arm reaches out and back, that bottom leg comes up. I'm holding the foot of the ankle. Might need to adjust to the right hand and twist. So you're rolling out through that hip and twisting. And stack the shoulders. Those are ringing out right at the top, right in here. And you can press your hips forward too to feel more. And then come back. I have a book that calls that Funky Monkey. I don't know. It's not a common stretch. So I don't know. There's maybe other names for it. But extend your legs out in front of you. Make a couple windshield wipers with your feet. And then we'll take a nice long forward fold. So reach your arms up, bring your body forward. You can always bend the legs and find that stretch. Lengthen and then slowly allow yourself to slide deeper. Or it's going where you can create space, breathe, creating space, folding from the front of your hips, very active into the low belly. And when I do this, I really particularly like to hold on at my edges of my feet and roll my pinkies in and I'm going to press out through the front arch of my foot. So the big toes are the gas and the pinkies are the brakes. And a wonderful stretch to the front arch of the feet. And then slowly come back up and lower yourself down with control. And from the floor, you can take cactus arms, you can bring your arms out wide. And we're going to take just one more twist. So bring your right leg up. Roll on over towards the left side. Keep your right shoulder down, look over your right arm, whatever position's in. You can keep your left hand at your knee if that helps you. Or just let gravity help bring it over in the direction you're going. And come back to center and switch sides. Right leg down, left leg comes up. Guide it over towards the right. Look over your left shoulder. Give the preference to the left shoulder staying on the floor versus the right knee going towards the floor. Again, you can keep guiding it or bring it down and let your body see how much it can twist. Just using your exhales to go a little deeper. And then come back and back to the center. Hug both knees in, curl into a little ball. And send both legs out, both arms out. And let your body relax for final rest, final shavasana. Take your time here. Thank you guys for playing today.